What about the Lion King?
When he was talking, he had a white voice. Hey, I'm Simba. But when he had to sing, he got that. They got a black person to put that soul in there. I can't wait to be king. Yeah. I'm like, come on, man, that ain't the same person.
Plus, it was all taken from the Japanese property Kimber the White Lion.
Kimber the White Lion. So that's fur washing, I guess. I don't know. Let's get into something a little different. Actually, not that different. We talked about trailers and movies earlier. Let's get back into movies, and let's talk about a little controversial thing that's been going on. First of all, controversial with praise, because we have an actor who decided to go against the system, and he says, I hear the problem that people are having with whitewashing, and I will not contribute. I'm talking about my man Ed Skrein right there. You recognize him?
Oh, the villain from Deadpool?
That's right. Yeah. Some of you recognize him by his other name.
Hey, don't take any shit from him, Cunningham. How tough can he be with a name like Francis?
He don't like that name. He got an orchestra behind him. Whenever somebody call him that, just to play. What the fuck you call me? Francis. Keep fucking with me here. But the thing with Francis is that I'm sorry, Ed Skrein. Even Deadpool getting me. What he did was he dropped out of the new Hellboy movie, the remake that they're doing, because there's a character that they have in there that they wanted him to play. And the character that's going to be in there, I'm looking at his name up right now. The character is an Asian character named Ben DeMayo. Right there, he said, you can just call me Ben. She said, my character look like that. I want to quit too.
Damn.
Yeah, that got that pretty face. You going to mark it up like that? I don't know who the character is in the book. I just know he's an Asian character and he's ugly as fuck. So he might have left just because he don't want to just be scarred in the face.
Mm-hmm. I have an out.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, it's like look at this right here. Like, look at this shit. Really? You want to mess this up? This pretty ass face right here. Now, we've been having this controversy with whitewashing because, and here's the article right here. Everybody's saying the thing with him is that it's noble, it's great, but should he be the one to have to do that? I mean, shouldn't Hollywood, if he can recognize it, shouldn't Hollywood be the one to actually go in and be able to make these decisions? And we have tweets out there. This is from the BBC.com. We have a tweet here from Riz Ahmed who says, respect to Ed Skrein for setting an example and reminding us progress requires sacrifice and representation is collective responsibility. And here's another one. Foo. Come on, man. You can't say this. You can't say shit.
Man, and thank you for leaving that role open for me.
Yeah.
I happen to be Asian as well.
Name is Foo. You must have a gong behind your tweet right now. It says here, as a person of Asian descent, thank you for this. It's heartening to see someone do the right thing, though it has cost you personally. He's going to be all right. He got money. See, the thing is that the controversy does stem from Asian people right now. Whitewashing, it's been applied to a lot of different people of some of color, but right now a lot of Asians feel like they're being the one to get the shaft because it recently really hit hard when Ghost in the Shell came out with Scarlett Johansson as the main character. And a lot of people felt like you really did a disservice. You really fucked Asian people on this one right here. And Scarlett Johansson, she took a big hit with this. The internet and the public just, like, how could you do this to us? I feel betrayed by you, Black Widow. How could you do it? And Ed Skrein said, yeah, I'm not getting in the middle of that shit. I saw how you tore her ass up. You're not doing that to me. He's like, ain't nothing noble about this shit. You ain't gonna ruin my career.
Yeah, this is self-preservation.
Shit. I just now stopped being called Francis by people. But it's a good move, whether it was noble or whether it was business. I do think it was a good move.
Some are column A, some are column B.
Yeah, a little bit of both. And now that whole Asian thing got brought back up because Netflix, they made a Death Note remake, and it was a movie, not a series, because you guys did a review of that. Thank you for doing that review, by the way.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, a lot of people enjoyed that. So you guys saw the Death Note movie, and the reason why people are upset is because They took it and took all the Asian people out and did this American remake where not only they whitewashed, but they put a little spot of black on there too.
Sure.
Do you think that I'm crazy?
I think you're not crazy enough. We could change the world.
Did you guys like this?
I gave it a rental. I said if you're like wholeheartedly into the anime series, you're gonna hate it. But if you're just somebody that watched it casually, doesn't know much about it, you'll find interesting things.
This is
to
what
like
I'm curious
about
about. As someone who's never watched the anime series, can I come into it and get it? And might I like
You'll
it?
understand what the movie's trying to do, but I don't think it fully fleshes out what the anime was actually doing.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
and
I'm just wondering if I could just walk away, like having seen it, didn't even know it was anime. Could I come in and watch it and like it?
You can enjoy it.
And
Okay.
you guys are saying, the anime, and this is what it's based on. It's based on the Japanese anime. They had a live action Japanese version of it.
A few of them, actually.
Yeah, okay. I didn't even know that.
It's like 4 of them.
And
Yeah.
no, you've probably seen this on Adult Swim at night. It's very, very popular, extremely popular. I mean, so popular, of course, that Netflix decided to do it. And as we said, it wasn't just whitewashing. They changed a lot of characters, and it's even pissing white people off. That what's my man's name? I love this actor.
Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah, Lakeith Stanfield. He's one of the major characters, L, in there. That was a controversial casting itself. But while people getting mad at that, the Asians in the background saying, "Okay, y'all fighting amongst yourselves. We ain't even in the picture. What about us?" And here's my thing with whitewashing. The reason why I want to get into this is because, look, I'm you know me. I will call anything out for the bullshit that it is, including whitewashing. We've done it plenty of times. We did it for Ghost in the Shell. So what is the difference with this right here? Because I think whitewashing is a term that is used right now very loosely, and I think people just, as the kids say, that people get triggered and they get angered and they just throw it out there. And I don't want anybody to think that I'm excusing anything that's happening. I'm all for Asian side. Y'all know I've been arguing for y'all for a long time. But you guys saw the movie. I didn't. I don't think that Death Note, say it's bad, say it's good, I don't think that this is a case of whitewashing here. And, maybe I can prove my case in a little bit. But as I said, I didn't see it. You guys saw it. It's just from the trailer, it doesn't look like it to me. But I'll give you guys a chance to speak on that because that's only fair.
I think for the main character, he might be a little bit considered whitewashed because I've always thought Light was a Japanese school guy. With L's character, who's black in this one, Lakeith Stanfield is playing him. I don't feel. I mean, it is replacing the role, but I don't feel it's like whitewashing or blackwashing, or what some people calling it. Because when I feel like something's being whitewashed, it's being changed to make it appeal to a broader audience. And I don't feel like that was the intent with the Lakeith Stanfield character. They changed the character to be a black guy.
Okay, what about you?
I never watched it, but I do know they changed where this takes place. Like in the anime, it takes place in Japan.
Yeah.
And this,
Yeah.
it takes place in Seattle,
Right.
right? So I'm not sure if I'd call it whitewashing as much as I would call it Americanized. That said, I would totally understand why people are upset about this. I'd be more upset about it deviating from the spirit of the original show, which it sounds like it does.
Okay.
But you guys say they already made 4 live action versions in
They did.
Japan.
Yeah,
In Japan they did. So,
and they were actually decent.
yeah, so
Okay.
I guess that's why I'm not personally upset by it.
Yeah. So it's like if you wanted that version,
It's
you got
there.
4 chances.
Right.
Yeah, and see, I agree. I'm not completely with you, and maybe with you. I kind of got lost halfway.
I gotta be honest. I wasn't listening.
I wasn't listening.
It's not good in there.
Damn, come on.
No, I'm giving you credit. Both you guys make good points. I just think that.
I guess.
Okay, I figure. I'm just trying to give y'all credit, man. I don't know what the fuck they were talking about. But the reason why I don't consider whitewashing, that's why I agree with you on, because it's Americanized.
Yeah.
They took this and put it over here and changed everything. Now, whether you like it or not that they took maybe a lot of the Asian influence out of it, that's one thing to be argued. But they've done that with a lot of things. Because and the reason why I have to bring this up is because we've been doing that for years, which is why I have to say, let's really choose how we use that word whitewashing. Let's redefine it and let's stay true to whatever cause that we are creating. Because if you look at things like The Ring, another one that's set in Seattle, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Ring, they Americanized that. Nobody had a problem with it. As we all know, that's based on a Japanese horror movie, which you see the poster right there next to it. And and that is something that I felt like, hey, they took it and they just reset it for American audiences. There wasn't any Asian people there put in the background. You know, they didn't want pushing them aside to make the white people right up in front so they could sell the movie better. Now, if you want another movie that's similar to that did do that, you got an argument with something like The Grudge, where Sarah Michelle Gellar goes over to Japan, I think. and every Asian person moves out the neighborhood like she's a black person moving in.
Yeah.
She was playing them.
You will forget this movie takes place in Japan as you're watching.
Yeah, now that's an argument right there to be made because she's in Japan and all of the Asian influence is pushed into the background.
Well, that actually happens in Death Note, though. There's a character in there that is a Japanese guy that plays the sidekick to L's character. So there is an Asian person that is kind of pushed into the back.
Okay, you know what? And I didn't see that in the trailer, so I will give you that. It's just not done on a huge level.
Nothing tops Ghost in the Shell.
No.
Yeah, that's the most
They flat out said this person was Japanese, but we changed all that.
Oh yeah. I mean, we've seen this done over and over again with different directors and different people. It's not just white people who are doing it. Spike Lee, when he did Old Boy, and this is now that's based on a Korean. And another Asian property. That's based on a Korean movie. Old Boy right there, the poster for the Korean version on the left. Over here we have the Spike Lee version with Josh Brolin in the lead. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, they did put a white person in the lead, but once again, I don't think that there's a whole lot of Asians in there. Of course, I wouldn't remember because nobody saw this, and that's forgettable for me. And
I saw it and forgot it.
Yeah, I forgot it too, so maybe. But I do remember that it was very Americanized with another Asian property. But again, people said, yeah, Corey, but you answered your own question. Nobody saw that shit. So, but how about The Departed? Departed is, isn't that where's the Departed? It's based on that movie Internal Affairs. Infernal Affairs. And Infernal Affairs. What was that? What was the original? Where was that from?
Korea.
The Departed was made. They took Korean police and Korean mobs and changed them into the Irish mob and set it in Boston.
Hong Kong. Sorry.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry. Hong Kong.
You know it. You're right. It is Hong Kong. Took it out of China, put it in Boston, put the Irish mob in there. It was I think a respectable twist for American audiences. I mean, do you see what I'm saying?
Sure. They even based Jack Nicholson's character on Whitey Bulger.
Exactly.
Can I pose the question? Is like when you see like all these other ones, because you're bringing up a lot of great examples on both sides. But I feel like with Old Boy and Rings, Ring and what was it, The Departed? Those are all from like big iconic directors, so you feel like they would kind of put their own spin on it and do their own thing, as opposed to like somebody who did what was the one the Grudge. Like I don't remember who did that, and then like things with like Death Note where they don't have like that iconic director behind it, like Spike Lee or Martin Scorsese.
That's a good question.
So like, do you think maybe that's why we see these differently, because they were Americanized, but they also had their own spin on it, so it didn't feel like a complete ripoff?
Yeah, they actually pretty much brought what a lot of people consider auteurs in on this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. Because like I said, I think I have a different definition of it. If you really are making a complete transition, I don't think that's whitewashing, and I will just give me a little bit of a chance to say that, and why I think that's the case, because I will get to that. I mean, because and it's not just with Asian properties, since that's the thing that's been in the forefront. I mean, they've done it with so many other things. That movie Abre Los Ojos, do you remember that? I think it's a Spanish film.
Oh,
the one that Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise. Well, that was based on that. You know? I mean,
but it's a remake. It's not. I don't consider it so much race swapping, except because it's hey, we're doing an American version of this. That's the premise of what the project is.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and that's why I consider that. So it's done with Latin properties too. I mean, right down to even movies you don't remember, but it happened.
What about The Lion King?
Now that right there, I kind of consider that whitewashing in a way, because when he was talking, he had a white voice. Hey, I'm Simba. But when he had to sing, they got a black person to put that soul in there. I can't wait to be king. Yeah. I'm like, come on, man, that ain't the same person.
Plus, it was all taken from the Japanese property, Kimber the White Lion.
So that's fur washing, I guess. I don't know.
Fur bleaching.
Fur bleaching. Shit, I guess you can kind of call it blackwashing in a way, since it was in Africa.
Kimber was white.
Yeah, Kimber was a white line.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... But even with movies, they had a movie from Argentina that they had a multiracial cast on, and that was
Nine Queens?
The Secret in the Secret in Their Eyes, which is based on the Argentinian movie El Secreto de sus Ojos. Now nobody saw that movie, but it was a multicultural cast in there. Chiwetel Ejiofor, Julia Roberts, and you know nobody saw it. But again, it shows you that they're doing it with not just one race of people or one culture. They're doing a lot of people. And besides, Latin people don't care anyway. Y'all got Hector. Hector representing and everything.
Stopping a lot of Latin actors from getting work.
He really is. Only those that are trying out for the part of Hector.
Man, we want to get put in serious roles. Not till Hector dies.
Is Hector in Death Note?
As
Might
Hector.
be.
As Hector?
They kill a Hector in there. Man, Hector is in every movie as Hector. Y'all gotta look this up.
Yeah. The actor's name is Hector, right?
His name is Hector.
He's the greatest method actor to ever live.
He's like, I think I got it down now, bro.
It's a Death Note question for you. The gods of death from Death Note, are they rooted in Japanese folklore? Like the Shirogami?
The way they present it, I don't know a lot about Japanese culture.
I don't either.
But the way they present it in the show is that it is from Japanese folklore.
Okay.
So like they show them in like old scripts. I think there's even a part in the trailer for the Americanized version. They show a picture of
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they show Ryuk in a Japanese book with a whole bunch of Japanese writing around him.
Yeah.
You're like, all right.
So I like when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, I get why people are upset by this.
And you know what? That is the case. You know, and maybe I need to take it back what I said, because I really did look past that one part where the demon itself is based, because they showed the book where it's based in Japanese folklore.
Yeah.
So I guess that's something that can be argued right there.
What would they have made it though if it was like American folklore, like John Henry or something?
Right?
It'd be like, what's that Brad
you
Pitt
go.
movie where he plays death?
Yeah, and it's very much an Asian styled character.
Yeah.
or art. So yeah, maybe there is an argument to be made there.
I could see it going both ways with this particular example with Death Note.
Yeah, it's just that, like I said, I really just want people to kind of, just so it's respected properly.
Yeah.
People call whitewashing for what it really is, even if we're beginning to learn ourselves when we're looking at it. Because I'm gonna tell you something, shit, there's been some blackwashing too. Man, we done took some stuff and dipped it in that chocolate a little bit. Martin and I always like to talk about Sanford and Son. This is one of the blackest shows out there.
Oh yeah,
got that black theme going on at the beginning by Quincy Jones.
Yeah,
it's two black dudes working in a junkyard.
But that was a blackwash show.
It was a blackwash show. They live in Watts. So, but for anybody who's a big fan like Martin is, that show was taken from a show about as white as it can be, Steptoe and Son. And that was a British show. Fred and Lamont were taken from this white father and son who worked in a British junkyard.
It's still proper. It's a curiosity shop.
I like the way the son, because I think this was in the late '60s that this was made, and that the son is dressed like a hippie and the father's dressed like Fagin from Oliver Twist and shit. So that shit he's dressed like a chimney sweep. That shit was just
like
as bad.
Dr. Jekyll.
As British as you can be, man.
I had never seen any of Steptoe and Son until just now.
I've watched it, man.
Have you?
Yeah, it's actually
on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. They got a lot of episodes on there. You should watch it.
I will.
Wow, you of all people, I thought would have seen it.
Well, but I had seen the British shows that Three's Company and the Ropers were taken from.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they were actually funny.
Nah, man, you should watch Steptoe and Son. I mean, look, it ain't Sanford and Son, of course.
Of course. But yeah, I'd love to see that.
But it's funny. I mean, because that old dude, he's cantankerous just like Fred Sanford, man. Let me let you listen a little bit of it.
How are we going to pay these bills?
Damn, what? He was all nice a second ago. just gently stacking the bill.
How are we gonna pay these bills?
Bah, humbug! Fuck you!
Maybe he's got Tourette, so that's like part of the show.
He turned. Once that music starts, he's like, "Hello, fuck you! I'm gonna pay these bills. Bah, curly for you."
Looks like a Christmas special villain. I'm Mr. White Christmas.
Look, man, he's wearing fingerless gloves.
Yeah.
And pull the orphan out the basement.
Yeah.
This is a junkyard, but they're selling a bear back there? What the hell is that?
Man, that's a British junkyard.
It's a British junkyard.
They throw away bears there.
Yeah.
We throw away cans. They throw away bears.
What am I supposed to do with this sign?
Toss, toss. Fuck you. And of course, we can't. That's a show that probably people haven't heard of, but everybody knows the classic, The Wizard of Oz. We blacked that shit up. Got black strippers in there. Can you feel a black ass day? Can you? Man, I love that shit, man. I love the way the Wizard of Oz was all nice and everything, and this one, these niggas just had to get naked.
It was like a little Detroit.
Yeah. Shit, it turned to a Freaknik. Manuel's people out there like, what's a Freaknik? Yeah. But
You got to keep some stuff.
Keep that to us.
they're like, y'all can have that.
It's not a thing anymore. They shut that shit down.
Naked black people and dancing lions and shit. I guess that was my point. I look at these and they can be argued. We can pick some things out, but I think when it's very clear, it's very clear. My problem with something like Ghost in the Shell, and that'll be my end argument here. Ghost in the Shell is something that it was set in Japan, futuristic Japan, but they had so many Asian people in the background, so many Asian sidekicks.
Yeah.
It was so much Asian culture in there, and yet they pushed that all back.
That was one of the least of our complaints about it. It is whitewashed, but it's just a terrible movie. But I think one that did even a more egregious job of a movie that whitewashed a whitewashed an Asian character was 21. When it was about that kid that was going to like the Vegas and counting cards.
Oh man!
And then they made that.
Jim Sturgis and
it's like with Ghost in the Shell and other things. It's like it's messed up, but they're from like fantasy properties. But like that was a real person. You're like, nah, we can't have that.
Yeah. Whenever they do it with a real story, that one was it? Is it The Impossible about the family that got caught in the tsunami?
Yeah.
What's the movie that Ben Affleck was in? Argo.
Where they showed the real guy. And he's like a 5'5" Mexican dude.
Yeah.
You got Ben Affleck.
They still give him his Mexican name the whole time.
Yeah. And they didn't want to say anything, but they tried to. They made him go out and get a tan and grow that Latin beard and shit. Come on.
Hola.
Charlton Heston was a more convincing Mexican.
Hola. So, it could be. In 21, that was that was a shame. That was a slap in the face. But as I said, before we throw these terms out there, though, it's good to be argued and kind of define them more and see what they do. I mean, they could be bad movies or bad properties, but I want things to be called and appreciated for when they are truly that. And I don't want anybody to look at whitewashing and just say, y'all call whitewash on anything.
Forgot about Aloha, the Hawaii movie.
Fuck that, man.
Man, there's a lot to pick from out there. We could go all night, but we won't.